Good evening. Welcome here to the chambers of the City Council. This evening, we have a council informational concerning a possible tower proposed on West Main Street. So at this time, I'm going to turn the floor over to the lead speaker. Whoever that is you decided, please, the floor is yours. Please give your name and address.
Is this mic on? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. I'm not the lead speaker, but I am counsel for Arcs Wireless, co-applicant with AT&T. There is a proposal to construct a telecommunications tower at 577 West Main Street.
Excuse me, could you please repeat your name? He's taking...
David Ball, B-A-L-L.
Thank you so much.
So the way the process works, we begin with a technical report that we provide to the city, which we did. We've had multiple meetings with the city to examine certain alternative sites, in fact, 5 alternative sites, which for a variety of reasons did not work. And at the city's request, we're prepared to present information so that you all have an understanding and the city has an understanding of what is actually being proposed. So we have 3 speakers to present different plans, and I'll start, if I can, with Doug Roberts, who is an architect, and he'll just walk through briefly the site plans.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Again, my name is Doug Roberts, R-O-B-E-R-T-S. We're proposing at...
Address, please.
110 Washington Avenue, North Haven, Connecticut.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We're proposing a 135-foot monopole in a 2,000-square-foot compound at 577 West Main Street. It'll be situated in the far west corner of the site. I'm assuming you can see the plans that I'm looking at. And we have a paved area in that location, and we're going to be cutting down the grade to that level. It kind of rises up along a retaining wall, so we'll be reducing that grade. Utilities will be coming from the utility pole right at the south corner of the parcel, underground, to a meter center, telco and electric. Compounds fenced in for security reasons. It's pretty straightforward, gravel compound. We'll be eliminating some of the impervious surface there and providing pervious surface, or impervious surface, providing impervious surfaces. We have 2 carriers on the pole right now, and that's AT&T and Verizon has expressed an interest to be on the pole. And that's kind of our presentation for the site plan. These will evolve as we prepare documents for the siting council, and again, for contract documents as this evolves. I'm here to answer any questions if anyone has or anything, or something later on.
Would it help with the presentation to have it all at one time,
Happy.
based on your opinion?
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So just to introduce 2 other speakers. So Martin Lavin is going to speak next. He's an engineer at AT&T and prepared the plots that he'll walk through to show the need for the tower.
Thank you.
Martin Lavin, C Squared Systems.
An address, please.
65 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn, New Hampshire.
Thank you.
So briefly, the first slide we have here shows the terrain in the area. The yellow star is the proposed site location, and the black stars are the locations of existing sites in the area, showing where we are in relation to the layout of the area, just in general. This slide shows again the touchscreen. The proposed site is in yellow, and this just shows the roads and rivers and the distances to neighbor sites ranging from about 1.2 miles up to 5.2 miles, or actually 5.9 miles or more. And here's the existing coverage in the area, showing again, the green is what we call optimal coverage, neg 83, or sometimes referred to as in-building coverage. The orange is, it's orange, yes, in-vehicle or adequate coverage, and areas that are white currently don't have reliable coverage. This is the coverage after the site is built. As you can see, it extends particularly into the needed areas to the northeast, east, and southeast of the site, and brings higher levels of coverage into the optimum coverage into the area surrounding the site. And that's our proposal.
Okay, thank you.
And one other speaker, Russ Dasta, who is a principal of virtual site simulations. That company did a balloon float last week at the request of the city and prepared some visual simulations of what the tower will look like.
My name is Russ Dasta, D as in David, A, S as in Stephen, T, A. We've actually conducted 2 different balloon tests here.
Excuse me, an address, please?
Let's see, 24 Salt Pond Plaza, South Kingston, Rhode Island.
Thank you.
So we actually conducted 2 different balloon tests. One was on April 24th, to the balloon test at 134 feet, 135 feet. And we prepared the simulations from that. The city requested that we do it again before this meeting, and we did that, I believe, on Friday. If you look at this first slide shows our visibility analysis, which is showing where we predict that we would see the balloon and where we would see the tower. If you look here, you can see that down the main road, there is some visibility, but outside of that, other than the neighborhood directly to the north and the commercial area directly to the south, it's fairly limited. Let's see. Can I do this? No. These are all basically showing very similar things. This is we did an analysis of the difference between what it would look like in the wintertime with the leaves off as opposed to leaf on. You can see that within this package. It wasn't a very significant difference. Within this entire area, we were expecting when leaves on, we have 37 acres of visibility. With leaves off, it's 55 acres, which is around 2% of the study area, which is a mile area, which is fairly small. When we did the balloon test, we drove the area, which is the area in blue, and tried to verify our results from our study. And you can see the pictures that are in red are where we did not see it. We did not see the balloon. The ones that are in green are where we did see the balloon, and the ones in yellow are where it was seen but obstructed by trees or other things. What we attempt to do when we take this on is take a smattering of everywhere. If you notice, we've driven everywhere. We don't go to specific spots. We go and look to make sure we get a general area of what it's going to look like from everywhere. And then we can go through each one of these. This is, I believe, number 1, which is the neighborhood just to the north. 1 street up to the north, which is probably the most visible area. And this is what we expect to see from that home. And you can go through the whole package, and you can see that from a very similar spot just to the west of there, it's obstructed. And you can barely see it. Let's see. Same thing with this, it's slightly obstructed, but it is visible. But these are within a quarter mile of the site, mainly in the area to the north and the commercial area to the south, as you can see here. And that's past that, you can see our predictions showed that we wouldn't see it, and we did not. I think that's, you can continue to go through them, but you can go through them at your leisure.
So the
As we
applicants are
move
certainly-
forward, everyone please speak directly to the microphone. This is being recorded, and when you step back, we're losing a continuity. Please.
And I just wanted to say, the applicants are here certainly to answer any questions that any of you may have.
Well, why don't we start? I'm assuming there's a property or neighborhood notification process that has to take place. Has that already begun or completed?
So there are multiple notice requirements. For this session, we sent out, in accordance with the Connecticut statutes, a notice to all abutters on August 1st. If and when we get to the point of filing an application with the Connecticut Siting Council, and I probably should have begun by saying this is all determined by the Connecticut Siting Council, same sort of notice will go out to abutters.
So you can't actually set the public hearing you're required to hold until all of that is complete, including the Siting Council application? Or is it following the Siting Council's application and decision?
I'm not sure what public hearing you're referring. If you're referring to the public hearing conducted by the Siting Council, yes.
They will hold a public hearing.
Yes.
I thought you had a requirement to do a public hearing as well. No?
No, this is the public information session, which is the public's opportunity to hear from us and to ask questions. What will happen eventually is there will be a case before the Connecticut Siting Council, which will be noticed, and that takes on its own process.
Right.
As you probably know.
Okay. Members of council, questions? Alderman Singh.
Thank you very much. So you are not buying the property, you are just leasing the land to do this?
Correct.
So on the site plan, the building that it shows is the existing one, right? And you have no control how it will look, or it will be demoed, or you don't know any plans about that, right?
Sure. Again, Doug Roberts. No, we have a lease of a certain portion of that parcel. The landlord we know met and such. I know he has talked about other plans for the site, and he's welcome to develop that, and I'm sure it'll be before you.
So development can still happen there?
Yeah, our work will not exclude him for the development of that site.
Okay, and the reason we are doing this tower is a lot of complaints regarding call drop, or just upgrading the?
I will
Okay.
defer to Mark.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Martin Lavin, C-Squared Systems. The need here is primarily for coverage in that area to the east of the site towards downtown. There's weak coverage and there's inadequate service in that area.
But we getting a lot of complaints as well, like call is dropping, or?
I'm sure there are
Or is it just an
complaints, yeah,
upgrade
that's
that's needed?
It's one of the factors that goes into the decision to
Okay,
customer complaints, yes.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. Other questions, members? Alderman Bettencourt.
Just on process, I guess. I mean, the council doesn't take any action on this, does it? So I've been through this before, so.
You don't.
Yeah, right, that's what I'm saying.
You don't.
So-
It's an unusual statute where the
Yeah.
Connecticut Siting Council has exclusive jurisdiction.
Right.
So planning and zoning doesn't get to vote, city council doesn't get to vote.
Right, no, I just wanted to point that out, that's all.
Exactly, and
because-
I probably should have begun with that, but this
Yeah.
is part of a statutory process.
Yeah, it is a little unusual, so.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Members at this time, other questions? I see our city planner. Could you please join us up at the dais, please? Thank you.
Deanna Rhodes for the record. Can I answer any questions?
Address,
for you?
please.
23 Union, Norwich, Connecticut.
Excuse me, do not outburst like that. Do not do that. Address of your home, please.
21 Johnson Road, Marlboro.
I'm sorry, this is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know why my mic isn't on, but.
Oh, press the button, Liz. It's on.
She's the Director of Planning and Neighborhood Services. Her role here is at 23 Union Street. She should not have to state her home address to come here as a member of our staff and address us and answer our questions. Okay, so first of all, this willy-nilly enforcement of our rules by you, sir, is...
It's not willy-nilly, I'm trying to be
Don't interrupt
fully
me, I have...
consistent. I didn't recognize you.
Do not interrupt me, I am speaking, okay? The bottom line is that every single meeting we have, you enforce that rule differently. And in this case, I object to the fact that our Director of Planning and Neighborhood Services has to give anything more than her work address that she uses in service of the city, period. She does not have to disclose her home address. It is not a requirement of her employment to disclose where she lives.
First, this is not personal towards anyone. This was just something that I considered. And I think that if we're going to be fully consistent and transparent, that's why I asked the question that I did. In no way is it intended or would ever be used to harm our city employees, discourage them, disrespect them at all. That's all.
Feel free to refuse to give your home address.
Thank you.
Mayor? Just,
Please, go ahead, Mark.
just one thing, though. There are some people that are statutorily exempt.
fully
from
aware.
having to do that, so.
Correct.
The police chief, for instance, the position I used to hold was exempt from having to disclose those
Mm-hmm. That is
kind of
correct.
things.
And there are very good reasons for that, yeah.
Thank you. I
It
just would
meant
like
no
to-
harm.
No, I understand, but I would like to put on the record that my husband is in law enforcement, and we do have our
Very good.
address
Thank you.
retracted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I'm here to answer questions.
Are there any local issues here that, for example, is a variance needed?
No, there's not a variance needed, but I have actually a few questions that I would like to ask.
For the record, please do so.
So I have been approached by several people who've asked about the tower itself. And in other locations, cell towers have been, the look of the cell towers has been changed to make it more attractive. And they've done such things as a flagpole where all the antennas are within the flagpole structure. It's done in Hebron. They have a very long, very tall structure that's in their park area, and they did not want it to be visible from their school and near their downtown. This road is going to be highly visible with a lot of changes. We're going to be having roundabouts on this road and a lot of landscaping that's proposed from the state of Connecticut. We've been working on this as a few years now, and it just seems like there should be a way that we can obscure the look of this cell tower, especially driving down Route 82 with the improvements we'll have, and as well as the neighborhood. So I'd like that to be considered. Our local jurisdiction is truthful. There's no comment. The commission doesn't look at these. However, we do have a statutory right to respond as a city to the proposal in front of the siting council, and I thought that this venue here tonight to be able to have opportunities for the public and staff to comment and be on the record, so this will be part of the testimony that goes into the siting council for their consideration. So that's one thing. And let me see, I do think that I have a question about the lot itself. So the parcel, I understand that you only want to lease a portion of it. I'm not sure if you're aware that there was a fire there, a suspicious fire that happened recently, and the building is in pretty bad shape. So my concern is that that you'll move forward with the cell tower, and the city itself is going to be looking at a building that's in, needs to be demolished or repaired. So the owner should have some responsibility in doing something with that property if they're going to be getting income from leasing for the cell tower. I think that they need to move forward with some kind of remediation to that site. as far as that structure that was, had fire damage to it. I think that's the only comments that I have, unless anyone else has for me.
Members, any questions for our Director of Planning? Yes, Alderwoman Hayes.
So, to you, Mayor, I was trying to put my hand up before, but since our city planner is standing here, for me, it's point of clarification. If I understood that when you call members of the staff or people, whether they're consultants that are being paid by the city, and we're calling them up for them to add additional information, or as our planning director is doing, she's asking questions that, because this is the first I'm seeing any of this, so it's her expertise that we would rely on at the same time. I just want, for clarification, for consistency going forward, that their only responsibility is to give their official work address, because we are calling them, when we are calling them in their official capacity, versus if she was here on some matter that had nothing to do with her official capacity, she would then give her personal residence, versus we are asking her to come up on our behalf to assist us. So I just think that needs to be cleared, because that's the way you've been doing it all along. If they're employees or paid consultants, and we're inviting them up under their title, then it's the city that they're representing, their office, versus if they come up on a different, for a different reason. But to the city manager, to the planning director, I'm sorry. Because of this is, like, this weekend, when I got the notice was the first, and I tried to do some inquiry about this cell tower. I'm a bit confused on the pictures, because they went by fast, is where it's going to be positioned, and they're saying it doesn't stop the property owner from some other development, but you brought up a valid point. There was a fire there. Okay, so that doesn't mean whatever, even if the property owner renovates the building or puts some other structure or something else, doesn't mean that something else can't happen.
No, something can happen there because it's kind of tucked in the back
That-
corner. So if you were familiar with the old car wash that's up there, if you went up
Yeah,
to the car wash,
yeah.
it's in the
Yeah,
back
back,
corner,
right.
closer to the residential properties, though, even though that's still, I believe, commercially zoned right there, there's still residential properties very close by on that side.
Okay, so, and this may not be a question directly that you can answer, but it's the one in my head, is because there are residential properties behind here. Risk to any of the property owners, I'm not talking about just sightline, I'm talking about risk having that particular tower.
I don't have answers about that. They would have to
Okay,
answer
but
that.
do you know if who's going to look at it? Connecticut Site Council?
Connecticut
Do
Site
they look
Council.
into that and take?
I
do
don't know that.
You don't know?
I don't
Okay.
have that answer
Sure.
for you regarding any risk to neighbors or anything like that. I will say that the city did work with the AT&T and their attorney, looking at locations that we thought were more suitable for this cell tower, and potentially looking at locations that were on city-owned property in the vicinity, and they came back with those were not desirable locations.
Okay. I don't have any questions for city planner, but for the proposal.
Deanna, thank you very much, and I forgot your husband was in law enforcement, so I apologize. I should have remembered that.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, would you like to respond, please?
Yeah, thank you. On Ms. Rhodes asked the question, could you build it within a flagpole? And that actually has ramifications from an RF perspective, so I'll let Mr. Lavin speak to that as to what the problems are with that.
Martin Lavin C-squared systems, in that case, the antennas cannot share levels. We would need 2 more sections of the tower above where we are now to house all the 3 antennas per sector, because we can only mount 1 going around a flagpole per sector. Verizon would also likely need 2 more sections, so the pole would be 40 feet taller to accommodate the same coverage.
Thank you.
And there was a question about safety for neighbors, as I
Well,
understand.
you're right, but.
Yeah, and I'll let Mr. Roberts answer your question if I can.
Thank you again, Doug Roberts. Regarding the building, we're aware that the building was torched, an unforeseen event. I know he has plans for developing that. I don't know what they are, but he does have plans for that. Regarding safety, we normally will provide a pre-engineered fault within the tower design itself. So if it did fail, it would fall within the property lines. Hope that was adequate.
Well, it's a little more than just if it fails and where it may fall. It is actually are there any other concerns that property owners in direct vicinity to it may be impacted?
From an RF point of view?
Okay, so explain to me what an RF is.
I'm sorry,
I was asking you to explain what the RF.
oh, radio frequency.
Okay.
Yeah, we are governed by the Connecticut Siting Council and meet all the requirements set up by the FCC for that.
Okay.
Thank you. Other questions, members? Alderwoman Gould?
Can someone tell me how high is the fence that's going to be around this tower?
Thank you. Again, Doug Roberts. We normally put an 8-foot tall fence. Again, it's an attractive nuisance, if you will. Towers, we normally don't have any way of climbing it until like 12 to 14 feet up. We'll have climbing pegs so that the cell techs that work on the site, the tower folks that do, maintenance and change antennas over the lifespan of the tower have a way to climbing, but it's not from ground level. It's pretty much a non-event. Everything's gated and locked. We do a periodic review of the sites throughout the year to make sure there's no maintenance issues, fences breached and that such, and we get that repaired.
And has the fence got any screening, or it's just chain link?
Yeah, it'll be welded wire fabric. Yeah, chain link fence. Yeah.
But no screening?
Right at this moment, we're just proposing a chain link fence. If the town felt that would be advantageous to have some, battens through it to, reduce some of the visibility, I'm sure, ARX would be interested.
And you said something about the grading of that piece of property. Do we know how much he's taking the property down? Because it's a fairly steep.
No, it winds up where the car wash is. If you're familiar with it, it's paved up and you kind of enter the car wash. Well, the parcel there's a grass area about 10 feet from the property lines where we're going to cut that so we can reduce our impact to the site. So the landlord can develop that parcel. We don't want to impact it.
And how close will you be to the closest abutting neighbor in a residence, not a building?
I'm sorry. I'll have to defer. Just look at the, I don't know. I don't know if that's residence though. These are residents. I think so. Well, on Pine Street, if the parcels behind there are residents, I'm not sure if they're zone residential or not, but if they're residents, I don't have the distance to the buildings themselves, but our setbacks were pretty much, our fence will be literally 6 inches from the property line. The tower would be about 20 feet from there.
And going back to the radio frequency, are these neighbors going to be sitting out in their backyard listening to a constant hum?
No, they won't.
No, so there won't be no noise?
No, I'll speak if that's okay regarding the noise. AT&T provides a equipment cabinet, and it has the equivalent of a large fan that you'd have on your PC on your desk. So if you were there, you'd probably hear some fan noise. We do have backup generators. When there is a loss of emergency or loss of commercial power, we'll have backup generators that would keep that site running to provide emergency services to the area. And other than that, there's really not any noise. There's not even, it's very, very minor.
Neighbors on Pine Street, are we planning anything else other than the fence? No shrubbery or anything sort of to camouflage
No, we're not.
this tower that's now going to be sitting 6 feet or 20 feet from their property line?
Yeah, we're not proposing that at this time.
I think you should be.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Members, any other questions at this time? Alderman Singh.
Roads have a question.
Oh,
Deanna Rhodes for the record. I would like to ask that the AT&T provide us with that fall data of how the structure would fall on the property, because I think it's going to preclude any kind of development on this site. Because if you put a building where they're showing where it was before, and that tower comes down, there's no place for it to go but on top of where there would be development on that site. So this is not a very large site where it'd be, there's fields or anything around it, tucked in a park somewhere. We're talking about a commercial area on Route 82. So I think that they need to provide that fall data for us. I didn't hear how close the fence was going to be to the property line, but a fence of 8 feet in height has to meet the zoning setbacks. So you can't tuck the fence against the property line like you can if a fence is less than 6 feet in height. You would now need to meet the traditional zoning setbacks. So keep that in mind for the location of the structure and the fencing.
What's
But
the setback, Diane?
You know what, off the top of my head, I'm
Is it 10?
sorry. I don't know off the top of my head what it might be 10 feet in the general commercial zone, but I don't have that data right with me. But again, that means the fence would have to be at that portion, so I'm not sure where they're tucking that. But again, I'm concerned now that we're talking about the falling, if it does fall in one particular way, now we're talking about a site that, are we going to have in front of the commission for a development there that potentially a tower could fall on it? From my professional opinion is that this is not, I understand from a site standard, is trying to get the most data coverage. I just think that it's such a small lot. It's on a commercial corridor. It's very dense there. There's residential properties very close by. That is not the ideal site.
Another Alderwoman Hayes.
Just following up, how you asked that we request the August data that was mentioned earlier?
The August data?
The fall data.
The fall
Oh,
data, that they provide that.
I assume that was
That they
on.
calculate and that provide that, because that's going to be important to know if this gets approved by the siting council and an application comes in for that property for development, We need to know that, where they're going to put the building. Is it going to be crushed or cars or whatever else, if there's a potential that it does fall?
What I'm asking is, were you asking us to request
Not
that?
asking for you, I'm asking, this is
Okay, I
comments
just-
for them
okay.
to address, and I
Okay.
think that all this testimony will be going to the siting council as far as the minutes, and it should be submitted by them. If it's not submitted by the attorney in AT&T, it will be submitted by the city, because we want to provide comments on this application.
All set?
One more question.
Alderwoman Gould?
So we're only planning on it falling on the commercial building. What happens if it falls the other way onto Pine Street, onto any house that's behind it?
I think they can answer that question better than I can. That's why I think the fall data is important to have.
Yeah, I would have to agree that the fall data is important, because not only does it impact possible development, future development on the site, I'm worried about the neighbors who have homes behind there. If the cell tower, hurricane comes through, I don't know what happens. Something happens, an earthquake, act of God, and that cell tower falls on those homes behind it as well. That would be my other concern. It's
I have no other
135
comment.
feet in the air.
I have no other comments unless you have questions for me.
No.
Thanks.
Thank you. Could someone from your team respond, discussing the issue of when these towers in fact fail and do, if at all, topple?
Thank you. Again, Doug Roberts. Regarding the tower's designed to meet Connecticut State Building Code, which is TIA 222H right now, which has a minimum wind speed, which is like 120, I believe it's 120 in this area, just because of the proximity of Long Island Sound. They're designed to withstand, better than buildings are, if you will. Again, we're going to design this when we order the tower. It'll be designed and engineered with a pre-engineered fault, so that will reduce the height of that tower. And as far as failure of a monopole, it's very rare, and it's not like a guide tower where, any strand cable, if it's severed, that compromises the structural integrity. We're talking a massive steel tube section, multifaceted, that slips over the next section, and it's a friction fit. And there's literally, I can't recall anyone ever having one that failed, that wasn't installed improperly. There is exceptions to that, weren't maintained or modified improperly, but, this is a brand-new facility. It'll be designed as such.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Questions, members, further this time? I just have one last one. Is this your team that will go to the siting council? Generally, this is how it's done?
You mean, how does the siting council conduct their hearings?
No, how do you present? Will it be the same people that we've met
Yeah,
giving the presentation so
Yes.
it's consistent?
yes, that's my expectation.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Hall. If there are no other questions, I thank you very much for your participation.